Hi guys, was going to put something out here for you guys to see about your three-dimensional shapes thing for your sandcastle project. Remember that on week 1 for the sandcastle, all you've got to do is submit the drawing with your dimensions, kind of like what you did with Granny's garden. Okay, you're just doing 3D shapes this time instead of 2D shapes. Okay. Now, the other thing is for week 2, you're going to be doing the surface area that you're covering with seashells, and you're going to be doing the volume so that you can figure out the weight with the sand. Okay, so let's talk about some of our shapes. Now, first one is a prism. Okay, now with your prisms, okay, and then I'm going to kind of color in on this one that this kind of bottom face down here would be our base. Now, the other thing is, though, if you decided to use a triangular prism, okay, you got to remember that it's a triangular prism, which means that triangle is your base, okay? Now, if you're wanting to do lateral area, remember that is the label, okay? So that would be like in this one, the rectangles that are going around here. On this one, it would be the ones going around this way, not the bottom or the top, okay? So for lateral area, our formula is big P 8. Big P is perimeter of the base, okay? So you need to find that perimeter going around that base edge. Now, total area is going to be that perimeter times H, so that lateral area that you found, plus 2 big B. And remember that big B is area of the base. Okay? So it's going to be area of the base. So you'll need to use whatever area formula that you need to use to find that. Now, if you're unfamiliar or don't remember what those are, go back and look at the video from Grandma's Garden, Granny's Garden, and I mentioned all of the shapes that you would probably be using as bases on that one, okay? So now, the next one that you may have used, kind of hinging off that, is we did square pyramids, okay? So we had square pyramids that we used, okay? Now, remember that with these, we had a slant height that went here, okay? And we had a regular height that went here, okay? And so we had kind of this triangle that got made in here. So if we relook at that triangle, I'm going to draw it down here just so that we have it. This was your height. This was your slant height. And then this was half of a side. Okay, so this was kind of what I had marked up there in green, and this is what I had marked up there in purple. Okay, so now formulas for your square pyramids. For your lateral area, which is going to be just those triangles going around the sides, that's 1/2 PL. Again, P is the perimeter around your base, which is a square in this case, and L is your slant height. For your total area, it's going to be 1/2 PL plus an area of that base, because we need to get that square base down there. And then volume is going to be 1/3 big B, area of our base, times height, okay? So for your areas up here, you need L, you need that slant height. For your volume, you're going to need your regular height, okay? So that is kind of those two shapes. Now, we did some shapes that involved some circles, okay? So the first one that we handled, okay, is cylinders, okay? So for lateral area on your cylinder, which again is just going to be that label, kind of that soup can label, that is 2 pi r h. Okay. Now for total area, we're going to do 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, so that we got that one. And then volume is going to be pi r squared h. Okay, so there's going to be our ones for our cylinder. Okay, now We also have, dealing in our circles, okay, we have cones, okay. Now, again, with the cones, we're going to have that height line, and then we've got this, okay? So we've got that other shape, that little triangle. Now, this time, though, because we're dealing with a circle, that's going to be a radius. This is still going to be our slant height, and this is going to be our regular height, okay? So now, talking about lateral area for this one, that's going to be pi r L, okay? And again, we're going to need that slant height for this one, okay? Total area is going to be pi r L plus pi r squared, okay? And then volume is going to be 1/3 pi r squared h. Again, because this is a cone, which is kind of like our pyramid, that 1/3 built in on the, because we saw that in class where 3 of our pyramids or cone shapes always fit into our okay. So I've got one more shape. There was one more shape that we covered in class that you may want to use, and that was our, so with sphere, all we have is total area. Okay, there is no between lateral area and total area because it's all the same. And the formula for this one is 4 pi r squared. And then our volume is going to be 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, and so that's going to be how we find the volume and the total area of our spheres. Now, do keep in mind, you know, if you are putting one shape on top of another shape, that you may only need a lateral area for one of them, but not a total area, or you may need a total area for something, okay? So hopefully this will help you guys out with your 3-dimensional shape.